for today's hike, we're going to be traveling all over the country. So first, we're at Lake Michigan at Camp Blodgett. So if you see here, we have our beautiful lake, and soon we're going to arrive at the sand dunes. Do you think it would be easy for sand dunes to get destroyed? Think if it's really windy or rainy. So sand dunes are really important, and they have very special plants called dune grasses. The dune grass helps to hold it together. So if you look here, these are some really deep roots of the dune grass that helps to hold the sand together so it doesn't just blow away. The next landform we're going to talk about are glaciers. Now, I've never been anywhere where I've seen glaciers, but this is a map of the world, and all the pink markings are where glaciers are found. So in this picture, this is a picture of some glaciers in Iceland. Now we're going to travel to Colorado, where I used to live. So there are lots of mountains in Colorado. So you see some of the really large ones have snow on the tops. Definitely miss the mountains of Colorado. So beautiful. Here we see a canyon. So you see the steep sides of that cliff, and down below is more flat land. Ooh, now we're traveling way back in time, back when I was in college. I went to Death Valley, California, and I got to look at so many sand dunes. They're just incredible. It took a long time to hike to the very top of that. And if you look, it's just surrounded by more sand dunes and some cliffs. Hey, guess what I'm sitting on? Looks like big rocks. This is actually hardened lava. And this is in Death Valley, California. So when the lava hardens, it forms these types of rocks with all these cool, unique designs and shapes. Now we're back in Michigan. This is the Manistee River. So if you look, people might think it's a lake. It's a very large river. Some rivers can be very wide. Here I am with my dog back in Colorado at what's called Garden of the Gods. If you ever go to Colorado Springs, you should visit there. They have beautiful red rock formations that are just spectacular. Do you think these big rock structures formed really quickly? No, it took a long time to form all these different shapes of all these big rock pieces. It's hard to see in this picture, but this is actually an island in Lake Tahoe, California. So if we took a boat all the way around, we would notice that's an island. Does anyone remember what this landform is? Here we have some plains. So we see mountains in the back, but right in front is just a large, open, flat field with tall grasses and plants. I wonder how this rock formation was created. Looks kind of like the back scales of a dinosaur. Whoa, does anybody know what this is? This is called the Uvahivie Crater in Death Valley, California. This is 600 feet deep and a half a mile across. And this was actually formed by what's called Mar volcanoes. They're created by steam and gas explosions when hot magma rises up from the depths of the ground. So when that magma reaches the groundwater, the heat turns the water into steam, which then expands and gets bigger until pressure is finally released in a huge explosion. So this was formed from a volcano. So this is an example of a landform that formed quickly because all of a sudden that magma started getting really hot and it caused that explosion. we have some hills. Next we have some waterfalls. And here we have a small pond in Colorado where I used to work. Ooh, next up is caves. So some caves you have to crawl in to get into, and others you can stand up. This picture shows some stalactites and stalagmites that form inside of a cave. We're going to end our adventure today at the Royal Gorge in Colorado. So this is an enormous canyon, and it's a canyon over the Arkansas River. And this is 1,200 feet deep and 10 miles long. This canyon was carved over millions of years ago by the Arkansas River. So this is a landform that took a long time to form. If you look in the background, they have a very high and long suspension bridge that you can walk across to get to the other side of the canyon. I did that and it was pretty terrifying. There were open slots in the ground, so as you walked, you could see the ground underneath you. I was actually brave enough to ride in this gondola across the gorge. These swings were not created when I went there, but there is no way I would ever go on that. That looks terrifying. I did go on this thing. This thing slowly let you travel down the sides of that canyon. It was pretty cool. Never in my life would I do this bungee swing. Would any of you be brave enough to do that? Oh, terrifying.